the other day we obviously released and published the retain list. It's always a difficult day in the season because you lose characters that sometimes you don't always want to say goodbye to. But how sort of hard, easy were your decisions this year?
It's not a nice day. It's not a day I look forward to. It has to be done. It doesn't get any easier. We hadn't got that many to sort of sort out. Sido, I just felt it was time for a fresh challenge with Sido as well, both for him and for us. I felt he's been good the last couple of months of the season. Before that, we've chatted. I felt his concentration and his performances weren't good, and we had a really good chat with Sid. We talked about the fact that he's foreign, and working over in England. I thought, and it was a really enlightening chat. I thought when I first signed him 4 months later, I thought I'd got championship player on my hands, and I thought he was a really good player. Last year he was very good. This year I think his form has dipped for whatever reason, and that happens. That happens. And we had a really good chat, and I wished him every success. I know he'll have plenty of clubs chasing him, no doubt about that. But I just felt it was time to move on and go again, just go somewhere else.
And obviously the other players that have gone.
Sam, likeable, great kid. Still can't believe he's only the age he is. He looks quite a bit older. Talented, but we just haven't seen enough of it on a Saturday, and that's what I've said to him. You need to continue. He's a great trainer, and he looks $1 million in training, but it's about peaking to produce it on a Saturday or a Tuesday night, and I don't think we've had enough of that. Not enough goals, not enough assists. He could come back and say, well, I've not been played in a specific position enough times, and I take that on board with everybody. Everyone could have a little gripe that they haven't had this chance, they haven't had that chance, but it's the decision we've made. Great kid, and I'm. It's the real talent and a joy to have around the place. But just wish him well for the future, and hope he starts producing for people like he needs to.
And Ed Williams only just obviously a young lad.
Ed a little bit unlucky that the season he's had, but I didn't see the point in keeping him here again, and well, there was no point in keeping him here again and not being in and around anywhere. So again, just wish him well for the future, whatever he decides to do. Ashley Vincent, I did apologise a little bit to him for not playing him as many times, but also I think he missed the bulk of pre-season, and I think that really told on him. I think when I was looking to play him early doors in the season, I didn't think his fitness levels were good, and looking back on it, maybe we could have pulled him out and given him a month to get fitter or whatever, but we tried to do it as we went along, extra training, rather than just pulling him out, not involving excuse me, not involving him in the keeping him involved in the squad. He got in at Newport, and again we tried to chop and change it a little bit and get our strikers on the pitch. Great kid Ash again, and I'm sure he'll get another club and start setting up crosses and scoring goals next season, I'm sure.
The other side of it obviously is 4 offered contracts: Scott Brown, Jermaine McGlashan, Joe Hanks and Steve Elliott, although as a player coach. So what's the thought process behind that? The Stevie one was, we were talking anyway, myself and Neil and Wes were talking over the last couple of months about how we could try and keep Stevie at the club. In what capacity, how we do it, and the club made their decision a couple of weeks ago regarding my staff. They expressed the desire to have a player coach. I can get the point of that, but it's got to be the right one. And then I had a look around. I had a scour around. I'm racking my brain thinking who I could have, but I think the obvious one was staring me in the face. At our place, it didn't take much thinking on my part for that one.
Stevie's doing his badges, and he's been a really good player for us over 3 years. He's liked, he's respected by the players. You know, he'll have a foot in both camps, dressing room and the coach's offices, and he'll play his part, and he can learn this side of the game, and hopefully we can get him sorted out. I think he's keen for it. We need to just talk about a few things as a club to him about it. But I think a bit of a no-brainer, you know, and he can learn as he learn on the job. You know, I went up to Burnley under Steve and Dave Kevin, and I hadn't really had any coaching experience, but you soon learn. You soon start asking questions about why he did this, and learning for yourself, and I think it'll do Stevie the world of good. I think it's the side of the game he now wants to be involved in. But also, you know, when you go to Mansfield, when you go to Stevenage, when you need a big tough centre-half in there, you know, he's got to be prepared to play games, and it's going to be a dual role. It's going to be slightly different. We're going to have to suck it and see with him a few times, but I think it's a challenge that he's ready to step into, and we're happy to accommodate it.
And Jermaine obviously being off the contract, and Joe.
Yeah, Jermaine and Scotty we've been talking to for a couple of months, and just unable to get anything right over the line early on. Scott Brown, for a few weeks ago, I sort of put something on the line to him, and he was as honest as he's been brilliant, Scotty, for me since I've been here. Really good kid, really first class attitude, and obviously turning into an even better keeper than he was when I came here. Bucky works really hard with him. He just said he's got a few things, you know. I think his girlfriend's having a baby. I think he just wants to make a decision, you know, a couple of weeks after the end of the season, were his quotes to me. So we're hopeful. I spoke to him yesterday, and he said, you know, if I'd known it was if I could guarantee that it was my last game for the club, I'd have been desperate to play Saturday. And he you know, that gives me hope, because he said, no, Connor deserves a chance. Talked openly with Scotty about it. You know, if it was his last game, or he thought it was going to be his last game, I think he deserved a send off from the fans. But you know, I'm still optimistic with Scotty. I think he needs to be playing. We can offer him that. We'll be a damn sight better. He's had 2 really good years. So he's had 2.5 really good years. We haven't had a good year, obviously, this season. So, you know, we're going to be better. And I want Scotty to be a part of that. Jermaine, again, been talking to him and his agent, and certainly I was hopeful that Jermaine was going to sign, but a few things have happened in the last couple of days that have got his back up, that have he's been hurt by comments on social media, and you know, the thing with his name being linked to, you know, that story that should have just been end of story last week, really, for it to get dragged up. I think Jermaine's taking offence is maybe the wrong word, but I think Jermaine's hurting by it. You know, we said we wouldn't disclose the names, and it's not us that, you know, it's us as a club that have. But at the minute, looks like Jermaine could be, you know, seriously thinking about going elsewhere. So, you know, that's what can happen.
I suppose with retainers, it does give you a chance to look at next season and build. I won't ask you about names for obvious reasons, but do you have a sort of set of targets that you're looking at?
Yeah, I've got a few, and I've made a few phone calls about a few already. But I need to sit down with the chairman with the board, and where my budget is, work out what we've got already in the building, what we've got. You know, I'm waiting in the wings maybe to come in, and what we've got to spend, and then we'll decide where we're going to go with it. I'm not going to rush anything. I want to take my time, get a couple in early, but also make sure that we, you know, I've got potentially 1 or 2 potential loans maybe for next season, depending on how things work out at their clubs for next at the start of next season. So plenty of irons in the fire, but just again just a slow process. We're not going to rush anything. I got a couple of things not quite right last season, so I think it's just time just to take stock on, reflect on last, and then we, you know, plan meticulously as we can for the coming season, for next season.